Yes, I do. Thanks. Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you said those things about old movies. You're preaching to the choir here, obviously. I love to hear you talk about Lucille Ball as one of your mentors. She was so influential for you. And I always admired her because she was this beautiful, smart, business-savvy woman, and she found this way to successfully navigate what was largely a male-dominated industry. She did it with style and poise and panache. I'd love to know what you learned from her about how to overcome obstacles and live your dreams. It's Kate asking you to be starting.
Well, she was an incredible person. I was so lucky to meet her. You know, I was one of the about 12 people that she put in her contract for a couple of years. Because she had been, when she got to RKO as a starlet, she'd been hired mainly because she had been kind of a fashion model. She'd been a Golden Girl, and she was beautiful. But as she said, beautiful like a hat check girl or a cigarette girl at a nightclub. Not beautiful like, it's interesting that we have Maureen O'Hara at the festival because Maureen O'Hara was like fingernails on a blackboard to Lucy. Because she said she'd get all dolled up and thought she looked pretty good. And she'd go out to a nightclub and have a pretty dress on and her hair all done. And she'd look beautiful and feel beautiful. And then Maureen O'Hara would come in. So she said, then I'm chopped liver wherever I go. And Maureen O'Hara was on the contract RKO at the same time, so they were around each other a lot. And I think they really liked each other. But Lucy was Leela Rogers, Ginger Rogers' mother, was very dynamic woman. She was a newspaper woman and everything. There was no father around. And so she kind of guided Ginger's career. And she did all the tough stuff, the negotiating, the cajoling, the, being nice to the producers and all that kind of stuff. And do that. So Ginger didn't have to worry about any of that. All she had to do is, take care of herself and learn her dance steps and do all that kind of stuff. Well, because Leela Rogers was so dominant in Ginger Rogers' life, she used to go on the set of the Fred Astaire Ginger Rogers movies at RKO, and she would, if they were doing a dance number or something, and it was over, and Leela wasn't happy with it, or the way Ginger, played with her dress or something like that, she'd say, they have to do that again. Well, it drove Fred Astaire crazy. So he went to the bosses at RKO and he said, you've got to get that woman off the set. Well, they didn't want to offend Ginger because she was a big star, and they didn't want to make her angry. So they were very smart, and they took a barn on the RKO lot and turned it into a little workshop for Leela. And they put her in charge of all the contract players at RKO because she was very good at that, about figuring out how careers should go, how to mold her career and all that kind of. She does for Ginger. And so Lucy was one of those in that group. And she felt Leela Rogers was so important to her career because Leela Rogers realized Lucy could be funny. Because she's not a funny person, never was a funny person. She didn't think funny, she didn't say funny things, like Carol Burnett's funny. She just is funny whenever she talks. And we all know that Mel Brookses of the world and all that they sit down and they're entertaining. Lucy wasn't that kind of a person, but she could be funny. And so Leela used to give her little parts in little plays that this workshop group would put together. And Leela, also very smart, went to the RKO people and said, look, I want you to have all the producers under contract at the lot to come and sit for an hour every Friday night before they check off the lot for the weekend and watch a little run-through of these scenes that these young actors are in so that the producer can maybe say, hey, Lee Bowman, he can play the young guy in the hat shop that meets the girl, little part of an expector or something. So they started hiring these people. So that's how Lucy kind of got all of her start. So because these producers would see how good she was, they gave her little bit parts and then bigger parts and all that. So when she owned RKO, she wanted to do the same thing for actors. So she put about 12 people under contract. It didn't work out really for her or for that process because she and Desi owned percentages of all the shows done on the Desi lot, but they didn't own them outright, so they had no control over them. So they couldn't go to a producer that's doing the Untouchables, say, and say, look, you gotta come see these people and put them in the show, because the producers say, look, I know my own people that I have. I want to use people I know. I don't want to use your people. So it didn't really work out, but in the course of that, it was such a master class for me with her, because there were about 3 of us of the 12 who were really interested in the business, wanted to stay in it, wanted to be in it, in an integral part for a long time. And she gave us this education. She wasn't paying us much money, so we could go to theater and things a lot. So she would take us to the what's now the Mont Blanc Theater, was then the James Doolittle Theater, and she would take us if Betty Davis came to town in a play to see it, and then she'd take us backstage to meet her afterwards. Or Vivian Lee, Noel Coward, all of that. So that in itself was an education. She took us to Vegas to see they call them now the Rat Pack, but actually then they were called the Clan. Sinatra, Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, Joey Lewis, Joey Bishop, and Peter Lawford, did I say? But there were 5 of them. And, Sammy Davis. And so we got that wonderful education for like 2 years. So that was invaluable to me. But I learned from her discipline, because she was very disciplined. She had a tough life. She never finished high school, and from being a young age, she was the breadwinner for the family. She had a sister and a brother and a mother to support. And at a young age, she went to New York to become a model. I think she was all 15, and said she was 17 or 18. And she was beautiful, but there were a lot of beautiful girls out there, so it wasn't easy. This is the Depression era. She couldn't tap dance like Eleanor Powell. She couldn't, sing like Barbra Streisand or something. So she didn't have this golden gift that made her stand out in the crowd. So it was a tough life. So there was a reason that she didn't see life as something funny or amusing. But the genius was the fact she could be so funny. So that was a great experience for me. And after she and Desi divorced, that was all during the period they were having troubles. And she used to like to have someone who's going around the house, and because her kids never had any guys around the house, because the dad was always out, they were really, estranged at that point. So when she then met Gary Morton and had life with him, it was no longer, we didn't have much in common then. But about once a year, she would call several of us up and have us come over for a barbecue or something like that, to keep in tabs and are you being right, who are your friends now, are you still at the same place, what are you doing to help your career along and all that kind of stuff. And she clucked over us like a mother hen at a distance, but she was a really terrific person. Yeah, but not funny. And that's what people are always so surprised about. But of course, I also was around her a lot during that period but at that period was really not a funny time in her life. Because she was distraught about marriage breaking up. She didn't like to fail. And this was a failure in her life. So that on top of the fact that she really loved Desi. But he was a chaser, and he was a Cuban, and, in Cuba, because his mother, used to live in Los Angeles, and I met her many times. She was a little mamacita that sat in the corner and did her needlepoint, didn't say a word. All of a sudden he's married to this dynamo, And he was a genius in many ways, but what he did as a director and everything, but he never got an Emmy nomination or an award. She got many Emmys, David Vance got Emmys, William Frawley got Emmys, but he's kind of a forgotten guy, and he was the real genius behind that series, making it work and all of that. So you could kind of understand why you would maybe want sometimes to go somewhere and be a big man with some, nice little lady. The great thing was, as he got older, he married again, and she married, and they became kind of friends again. And they used to be together, and I know one time Lucy Jr. was doing Seesaw at the Amundsen Theater, and Desi and Lucy, both married to other people, gave a joint, the two of them gave Lucy an opening night party, and when they were taking pictures and stuff, he'd say, Mama, Mama, like he used to call her when they were married, and towards the end, he got cancer and was very ill, and she used to go visit him, and his wife was smart enough to know what they meant to each other and stay out of it, and she used to let them have time together, and she was with him when he died, And so they were kind of back together in a strange way, where they always wanted to be, because they were really crazy about each other. It just didn't fit.
We have a question on the far right.
Yes, I'm talking